Welcome back, and as earlier we said, we're going to be shedding some light or taking a tour over the city of Luxor, the ancient city of Luxor, one of the oldest cities in the whole world, and also the world's greatest open-air museum. And of course, who haven't visited Luxor yet is missing a lot. And of course, people who have visited it have acquired a lot of experiences in the sense of the touristic experience, in the sense of history, in the sense of the experience with the people, Nubian people and southern people of Egypt themselves. And we're very delighted to shed more light on that particular topic this morning with Mr. Elhamy Zayat. He's a tourism expert. Good morning, Dr. Zayat.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir? Let us talk about Luxor as being characterized as that particular name, the world's greatest open-air museum. Why did Luxor acquire that particular name?
You know, we have other open-air museums in the world, like Xi'an, which was the capital of China, 2000 years BC. But it doesn't have the variety of monuments Luxor has. It only has terracotta, which are the soldiers. The emperor at the time, 2000 years BC, asked to be carved in the land itself, and it's a huge army which was uncovered lately. But Luxor has a characteristic. It has temples, it has tombs, it has a lot of things, and the temples themselves are different. If you see the Karnak temple, which is the largest temple in the whole world, and it took 2000 years to complete the Karnak temple. And most probably, if we had more pharaohs living then, we would have had more time to build addition to this temple. You have the tombs. If you go on the West Bank, for instance, you have the Ramesseum, you have the Medinat Habu, you have Hatshepsut temple, and they are all different in style, different in size, but they are all huge. And then you have the Luxor temple, which was built only by two pharaohs, namely Amenhotep III and Ramses II. And as you know, it's huge. It's fantastic. So Luxor is definitely the largest open-air museum today in the world.
Also, the surroundings in Luxor and the community and the people and the citizens is having its own charm and magic. How did it acquire that popularity amongst tourists of different nationalities?
I'll tell you, the old Luxor, as it stands, with its coffee shop, with its small restaurants, with its natural life, had a charm for foreigners. As a matter of fact, I'm going to Luxor the day after tomorrow. You'll ask me in this heat, which is 45 degrees, but I love Luxor. We are preparing something for the future, for Luxor, for the tourists. So absolutely, yes, it has a charm that no other cities, for me at least, has. It's enough to wake up in the morning, if you are in a hotel overlooking the Nile, and look at the West Bank and see the magnificent site where you have the Valley of the Kings. It's absolutely fantastic. And by night now, a lot of monuments are lit. So you can see also this. This is fabulous. Plus now Luxor has a nice corniche. It has a lot of things which make it really an attractive city. Don't forget now that we are going to have the Alley of the Sphinx, which will be inaugurated very soon when we inaugurate the new museum, the Grand Egyptian Museum. I don't know if this is between Luxor Temple and Karnak Temple, or Karnak and Luxor. And there was a procession every year, which was called Opet. The feast was called Opet. They used to take the statue of Amun-Ra, his wife and his son, and take them to Luxor Temple and bring them back. And it was a big procession. So Luxor has something, it has a charm. And if you know, there is a mosque in Luxor Temple called Abu al-Haggad. It was built in the 9th century. And every year during the celebration of the birthday of the saint, you will definitely see a similar procession to one the pharaohs had. You know, it's very, very amazing. It's a fantastic city. That's all I can say.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Luxor embodies 1/3 of the world's monuments. How should the Ministry of Antiquities benefit from these? These things that characteristics that distinguish Luxor amongst its counterpart.
First, let me correct one statement. When we say it contains 1/3 of the monuments of the world, this is not a correct statement because you have to place it in time. Luxor is a city which was started being built by the Middle Kingdom, by Amenemhat and Sesostris. So that's when they started building the temple of 2,200 years BC. And it's then every king added something, but it reached its height during the New Kingdom, which means between 1500 BC and 1200 BC, with the Hatshepsut, with the Amenophis, with all these famous kings. So to say 1/3, it depends. If I talk about that period of time, which is up to 1200 BC, yes, it contains even more than 1/3. If I talk afterwards, no, we have competitor cities that contain different types of monuments, not the same types, of course. If I specify it contains pharaonic temples and tombs, yes, then it contains more than 1/3. You see, so you cannot just have, unless you specify the parameters, and you say in time, in type of temples or in type of, but you cannot say in absolute terms that this has 1/3 of the monument. And I want to tell you a nice story because initially this was said in the 1940s, in the 40s. This Luxor has 1/3 of the monument. And some Egyptians, they like to magnify this. They say Egypt has 1/3 of the monument of the world. So it's neither nor. You have to place it in time, but it doesn't diminish the value of the magnificent Luxor.
Right. In the midst, of the pandemic that the whole world is going through, and it's affecting every front of our lives, of course, tourism have been affected. But tourism is an industry that depends on, reality, and it depends on visiting places and, movement, and it's a mobile industry. So turning into digitalization, we all know that COVID-19 have speeded up digitalization into our lives. And there were talks about digitalizing tourism at the same time. So could that be working with cities like Luxor? Visiting Luxor on social media instead of taking a plane and taking all the trip down to Luxor, to Egypt, and sometimes there is a ban on visiting some countries, or we couldn't be communicating sometimes like in the past variants of COVID-19?
What you say is a correct statement. We have seen the digitalization of all the world, and especially Egypt. The Ministry of Antiquities has been pioneer in making a tour on the net for the different monuments and different cities in Egypt, which is very good. Now, what we do, we have some clients that request to see it, let's say Luxor. Okay, we show them the tour that the Ministry of Antiquities have done, and then we have an archaeologist or an Egyptologist or a guide explaining in his voice and answering questions from the crowd. The crowd, of course, is online. It's not the crowd in Luxor. But you have to remember one thing. If this is done, what does it do? It means that the people are eager to wait for the day where you could visit Luxor in reality. So it's like an aperitif. It's something you have just to heat the palate. And then you know that one day you would like to visit definitely these sites.
So are there some places that are fit for virtual tourism and some places aren't?
No. The government has, the Ministry of Antiquities, virtual tourism, it has been done for most of the cities, most of the monuments. I mean, of ancient Egypt, of pharaonic period. So in these terms, it's there, but maybe there is not enough for the Islamic time, for the other time. You know, it's a very big endeavor. So it's good we have it. At least it tells the people you should come, or the people. It's whetting the appetite of the people to come and visit physically, because it's a different experience altogether.
Right. Mr. Elhamy Zayat, a tourism expert, would like to thank you so much, and you have a safe trip to Luxor, inshallah. Have a beautiful day. And I guess we're going to go to a short break, and we'll come to continue the breakfast show, so stay with us.